Hey there. I finally took a look at your game. Uh, and like grain of salt for my review, just I'm Masters tank player, which actually is like top 500, I guess, on console. So I'm not gonna be too helpful for like the ins and outs of like you're really looking to hit this specific combo and echo or like this rollout is really good. um, and like PC mechanics, like mouse sensitivity or whatever. I'm not gonna be able to help you with that. But I do play against like literal cheaters with aimbots all the time because people cheat and put mouse and keyboard with aim assist on console. So I don't know. It's just kind of the same game basically when you get like really high ranked. And also, like, I do think there's some things I could help you with in terms of your play. So the main thing I'm seeing, like, and there's a lot of different ways people talk about this. Um, the way I think about it is like we're not generating meaningful pressure. And what I mean by that is like we're not helping our team create space. Okay. And you might be like, oh, well, that's a tank's job. Like, I don't make space. I get kills. I'm on DPS. And like, you're kind of right, but the way that kills happen is by generating pressure and creating space. Um, it's by using your cooldowns at the right time when your team is looking to do something to help them. It's your tank makes space and they're the best at that job, but they can only really occupy one angle, or the other way people talk about it is lanes, which, that's basically just paths. Like, this is main, right? That's one lane. This lane, this point sucks because actually it really only has two lanes, but kind of this way would be a lane, like through into that flank there. Under here is kind of a lane, right? Around the back is kind of a lane. Um, and so that your tank like kind of has to commit to one lane. Mobile tanks can kind of switch back and forth. And so on DPS we're like more mobile, right? Or at least we don't have to be attached to the hip at our tank. And we're looking to contest some other lane with our damage. Shoot people from a different angle so they're like worried about where they're getting shot from, right? We either do that or we hard commit to one lane because like their tank's alone in it, let's say, and blow them up, right? Those are kind of like our two choices here. And what I see is like a pattern in your gameplay is kind of sitting in this sort of neutral, passive play style where we're kind of like just poking on main, and sometimes poking like a bit too late, kind of because we're in the wrong place. And then we're not really a part of the fight when it actually breaks out. Um, so what I wanted to do is just this is like the defense, the overtime defense, and I just want to watch it like fast speed with you for a second, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about, right? So we're here, when we use our early stickies. Our tank's kind of dumb, but even then, like we didn't see where they were set up. If we'd waited a second when they weren't looking at us, we maybe could have like hit things from a different angle. And again, we're backing off. The reason I chose this particular thing is the SIG makes it really hard to poke just down main. He's got a shield and absorb and stuff. We're like an alt exchange. But you see how we're just like, we're just kind of waiting for where the card's gonna go. and hoping to get some sort of kill just off of our spam damage here. We're not really trying to do anything in particular. We're not trying to target anyone in particular, and we're not opening a different angle, even a really shallow one. Yeah. And we'll see that a fair amount in this game, but that's kind of the big thing. It's like I'm not sure you're like any character you wanna look at the hero screen, the scoreboard, and just make a mental checklist of like this team, like if I catch Tracer recalling, right? I hit one shot and beam her, she's dead. Yeah. If I catch Bap, if I can like catch Bap isolated, I kill him. If I catch him and he's used drone, I can blow him up. I can maybe sticky him and kill the drone before they explode and beam him, right? If I see Sigma a little too far forward and I can force him to grasp, I can maybe beam him, right? Or like if I catch Echo not looking at me, she's using her float and I still have mine, I could go kill her. I can sticky beam her, right? So there's kind of that checklist, and then there's also a checklist of like on your team. If we go back, we got Hog, Brig, Cass, Kiri. Like Kiri's pretty mobile. The rest of them are not. So we want to kind of figure out where they're playing and then take an angle, either like go for a hard flank or at least take an angle that's to the side of them, off angle from them, so that we're threatening something other than what they already threaten. Um, Maybe we try to sticky like if our hog gets a hook, let's say, or if our cast lands a shot, we try to get him with a beam, right? And the other thing is that none of these guys, except for Kiri, like have an easy time getting to high ground, right? So that would be something that we'd think of as like sort of our job or something we're trying to do. And then the same thing's true of like the map too. So like this choke is really brutal, right? And we're on Echo. She's pretty long range. Like if we're threatening from over here, let's say, like peeking, it's a lot harder for them to avoid both the hog like playing here and then us like shooting down this kind of corridor, right? And we have health packs we can back up to. Um, and it'll be different. Like we'll talk through first point, but there's not that many plans of attack for it. It's just a question of timing for the most part. It's kind of why there's so many like hard holds on that point. It's just kind of bad map design, to be honest with you, or dated, let's say. So let's go back to the start. I'm also going to turn down. Oh no, I have it set. Okay, great. So we don't know what they have, right, at the beginning. So we want some information. The other thing I noticed is just like, and we'll talk about this a little, is mainly like your beam usage stands out to me. We kind of just use it willy-nilly instead of being reasonably sure we're going to get a kill. And so you don't get a lot of like, it's a finishing move, right? And a lot of the time you use it on like a tracer as recall. Or like, I don't think there's a Moira in this game, but like a Moira with Fate, let's say. For Reaper, I don't have that many notes. He's a simple character. So we'll look at it, but like kind of quickly. I like that you avoid the dynamite at the door. I will say there's also like a little bit of a pathing issue. Usually at the start of the game, I expect hit scan over here. Ash is really popular at this point. And I think this flight here is pretty dangerous, like if we're standing here. If the Ash had been looking for like a slightly more aggressive angle, we we maybe are dead there, right? And so the trick to that is to come out, probably peek and see what's there. And maybe we get like a cheeky, sticky angle here from there. Or get to the bus. And then boost, like kind of low to use cover a bit more. Or even just using this thing. The other pathing option, since we'll get into it right now, like our job is going to be to threaten these guys from two angles and especially to clear this high ground. Because they're either set up here or they're set there or they're split. And we kind of want to go to their weak side and kill someone who's like kind of immobile. So the other thing you can do is path through here. Look for a kill like this, or wait until you hear them shooting so you know they're not looking. And we can fly up like kind of this way. And maybe catch someone like too far forward, right? And then we can always back off. If we can clear them off this runway, we can wait for a glide again, and then we can maybe go forward and look for one of these angles. Or look for an angle onto here if they had like a more kind of static setup on the high ground, which is, you know, super common. So coming this way, we're not going to do that much. It's not the worst thing to check, but, you know, you're like way ahead of your team, and if your tank was their tank, he'd catch it here because he's too aggressive, right? Or they are. The other option, again, we want two angles and we want to time it, would be to like go under or around the back and be looking for like honest play over there, looking for one of these, looking for something kind of long because the stickies go in a straight line. So the dream is to catch one of these two guys hard scoping. Yeah. Or we can go around. If we see this is empty, we could even occupy kind of this back area, right? But the whole point is like you want people looking. If the defenders can only look in one direction at a time, you're kind of screwed taking this point. So we're kind of like trying to see what's up. That's fine. I don't terribly mind bean to break shield. It's not the best. It's good to break bubble. I like that you went with your Winston. The angle is really bad though. Right, we spend a lot of time kind of up further than we need to be. I think because we ended up too close to the Winston. And we almost die, yeah. And I'd like to see you do a little more of like low and then up. So that you're using this high ground as cover a bit. Or we play here, right? Or the other thing, anticipating the Winston as bubble. Right, we're going in with a Winston. We see that. He's going to blow bubble, right? We can also maybe try to get around it and try to back these guys off. Like separate them from their Winston. So he's a bit more isolated. But a little bit, it'd be like a fast reaction, but if you're looking for that, and we support over this way, because we have range, right? There's no reason for us to be this close. We can peek out here, yeah? So it's like, even just that little, like, anticipation of, like, what's going to happen next. Like, if I see a Winston jump, I'm looking for the dudes who are going to run behind him. Because they're sure enough going to, right? You see how they all, like, they all move to get their Winston in their line of sight and try to shoot what he's shooting. Yeah, so we're like kind of caught out there. And don't really like didn't quite have a plan for where to land. Because remember, when you land, like Tracer, Winston, if I'm playing those characters, I see you use your flight and I can get to where you land, I'm gonna go kill you. Especially Tracer. So we switch Reaper. Kind of fine. And we're just gonna like spam the tank. It's not much, but it's honest work. But really, our team kind of carries that fight, yeah, wouldn't you say? And even here, we're just really focused on kind of main, right? Against a team that we're gonna have trouble crossing space. I would have liked to have seen you. Where is it? Yeah, here. I would have liked to have seen you just clear this flank out. Do you have a fade? Yeah. When we have a cooldown, so we try to take some space that our team can't take, right? And I would have liked to have seen you clear this Tracer instead of going for the Winston into kind of the brunt of their dudes, where you're not going to get that much done. Although you do make them, like, fuck off, and that's valuable. I like on Reaper your teleports. And I want you to find a way to kind of do that same thing with Echo. I don't mind going back to shoot the Winston when he's primaling. He's overextended. I like the aggressive teleport. And we find the right target, it's good. Probably wanted to know at least where Tracer's gonna go. We don't want to chase her probably, but we can really zone her pretty effectively. But here, and I think this is just in general a dangerous place to default to. Just like wide and open, right? And it's a little what I mean of like, what are we trying to do here? Yeah, it's just like really high risk, low reward. I don't think you're gonna 2v1 these guys, especially with the spawns. I would have liked to have seen you either go try to clear the Tracer off the flank for a bit, or set up in a place where you'll have easy access to do something valuable when they come out, because they're gonna come out, right, for a fight at the end of this point. Like a teleport up here, maybe. Over on the side. Or even just waiting here. Because we have Fade, we have Telly, we can get out. So like you come here, but now you don't have Fade, right? And they know where you went. I love that you back off even though you have nano. You make space there. Right? If we look at we go in here and like Like, see, the cast is backed off. He's afraid of you. Oh, whoops. We come in the back. 13 split. We get an ult out. They back off. Their tank backs off, right? The Ashe is isolated. It's like you only probably live because you got nanoed, but you do your job. That is a good flank. Although a little dangerous, like ignoring the cast. But again, like, we want to be thinking, if we go back, we want the card to get to the end, right? So we don't want people here shooting, like, able to walk through this choke. So we want to make it hard. We want to get resources from them. Playing a map, I would have liked to have seen you teleport, like, here. Here's, like, okay. But just, so you're protected from the respawners, and this, like, hit scan love this angle here for contesting. Because the shortest, and then you could probably do the same thing, push the Ana. But, you know, you get it done. It's fine. We probably don't take that duel at that range. And we're like, the funny thing is, even though Reaper is a lot more limited in range, you're kind of doing your flank job, like, or your angle job, like, a lot better. We're contesting this lane, right? We're keeping the cast from walking forward in the lane where it could threaten our team. And we're not dying for it either. So I like that. I like this, but we poked a little early and we're forced out, right? So we're here, right? We're worried about someone coming behind us, but maybe the cast knows where we are. Yeah. I'm okay with that. I think we could have waited just a half second more. Like, when we're safe here, and we see our Winston, our effective range, like, we do the most damage, like, point blank, right? I would have liked to have seen this happen once the Orisa was a little past. She's gonna have trouble, like, walking all the way here, right? You honestly can see her coming and back off. I would have liked to have seen, and you know she's javelin too, so I would have liked to have seen you wait for her to go a little, and then maybe try to get these guys. Right, we're just poking a little early, and get forced out from what looks like a great spot. Maybe we heard the cast. I have to set the volume kind of low, to be able to, like, hear myself talk. So. Even this flank, I don't mind it. It's a good idea. They just have a lot of ults. I like coming up here. Right? We catch people in these small rooms, so we're good. Or if we catch, like, if we stand behind them. I'm not sure you need to use Fade there. And now we're waiting for kind of javelin. Just mechanics. I like the idea. And now we have them separated, right? So, whoever supports on cart, we don't need to be here. We need to be somewhere where they have to walk through and then they have to be close to us, right? And Winston's over on that lane. So our choice is either find a way to stop these guys from walking forward or help our Winston on this lane. I think you don't have Telly, right? So I think the thought process then is like, I want to go contest these guys and come around back here because they're like way backed off, right? And wait for them to try and go forward. Like a good idea that you want to flank and like be here, but you do it like right in the middle of everyone, so you just catch a shitload of damage, yeah. That's fine. Oh, but then we peek too wide. So like the thing that's happening here is like this wouldn't work without the nano, right? But we're just like let's slow it down. We're just way too obvious about this. Right? They know where you are. You do force an ult, you see the anti. But right, it's not like you're ambushing them with that move. We go Echo. I think that's fine. The sight lines are longer. It's a little harder to get those short flanks without going way out of your way. We're kind of fast. We catch a poke kill. And this works because Orisa not very good in the poke. Yeah. I think that's right. She wants to get on top of people. But here's like a good example of beam usage, right? Like, we didn't see her use gold. We're waiting for the gold before we really blow her up. So committing like both your resources there is tough. I like this angle. I don't know why you peek out the door instead of just trying to catch her like here. If we look at her point of view, let's see if she sees you. Yeah, right? There's no reason to not do this, like, really shorten this angle. You can do like a jiggle, because you're projectile and she's hit scan, right? So we can sticky shoot, hide, shoot, yeah. But I like that you're looking for this angle. And it makes space, right? Because she's shooting at you off somewhere else. The rest of your team is safe from her dynamiting them or whatever else. And I think we just kind of clean up and win, yeah. So, I'm doing okay for now. But let's look at this. So, like, even just this position for Echo, you're kind of just, like, come shoot me from here. Are you trying to shoot the door? Right? And a lot of tanks, especially as you get higher ranked, they'll just, especially if there's something like DM, like, they'll just blow it, like, just right out the door to prevent that kind of stuff. But the way to get it off would be, like, either to fly just before and try to just get a long range one, or we could look for something. I think this would be too dangerous If our team was also set out to poke, we could look for something like here. Or longer sight line. We could be waiting for them to give us this sight line here. Even just on the bus would be a little better. And that might sound like nitpicky, but you know, we're about to be below half health, I think. All to actually not get any stickies off whatsoever. Right? Good kill, she overextends. So hey, we got value. But I'm just flagging it because like the next time you defend first, it doesn't go that way. They don't mess up. They go just kill your tank. Well, we're just like kind of backed off. And even here, it's just like we're just kind of shooting in the cover, which broadcasts where we are too. And I don't know why you don't just like, even if you want to go for that, like wait here and wait till they walk a little and you can hit someone more valuable than the tank. And then use your flight to back off. These angles that Echo can take that are like kind of risky. Right? Kind of like the main thing here is if you're like kind of poking or waiting to blow up the tank, those are kind of the same play style. Like just nuke someone. We want sort of long sight lines. So the stickies, because they just like travel on a straight line. If we're ambushing, which is the other play style, like assassin, we want to take these flanks and then have like a short angle of attack. So we just like a sticky shoot beam, right? Or whatever the combo is. I don't mind that. Again, we sort of don't know what's behind us. When we were flying like back here. We have to, in our head, look at the scoreboard and we're worried about, we want to know where Tracer is and if she could kill us. Yeah. We want to limit Echo. We want to try to catch Bap standing still. We want to try to catch Orisa with no armor, basically. No cooldown, no gold. Lucio, it's kind of whatever. What I mean is he probably can't kill us, and we can maybe kill him if we can catch him like short range, and he's not looking at us. So yeah, this is a good example here. So we're going for this poke, take some damage, we back off. Now they're pushing. This is kind of when we want to take damage or take an angle. And we don't really back off for a reason. Like now it's time to fight, yeah? And imagine if we'd been here, the Echo goes in, and we just back this BAP the fuck off. Keep this high ground clear. Contest this lane, right? I mean, really, we're not, it doesn't look like we're trying to kill anyone in particular or do anything in particular. Yeah. I guess we try to kill the Echo for a second. Well, we're just kind of way backed off. And also, like, no one was contesting this space. Even if we'd been here at this moment and tried to nuke this BAP, saw the Echo land, like, waited a sec, see the Echo land, come behind her and kill her, we could be contributing some pressure from, like, a different place than just, like, they expect all of your team to be this way, right? Because it's just kind of, like, towards your spawn. So they're playing cover around it. Yeah. Now, they use ults here. And your tank probably could have played that a lot better, but... And even there, just... We're backed out, and look how where they're all facing. Because the Junkrat is spamming. And we could have seen him through walls and maybe gotten a kill this way. Right? We're mostly full health. And now they can look back here and just window and you're dead. So it's just like, it's just a little out of sync in terms of like, where do I need to be and like what do I expect to happen, you know? And part of that is like the payload, like you can use the payload to kind of figure out where people are gonna be. Like in this situation, the support's gonna be probably alone pushing the payload. The rest of the team's gonna be up. If you see their tank, you expect someone like kind of on the flank, maybe trying to contest here, like this Tracer. You maybe expect someone split here, right? Echo maybe up there. We have our ult here. Echo ults. We want to play in that and try and sticky someone. Where's the beam right now? And our tank's in, yeah. So even that, like just making the read of like we're using our what's her name, Juno. We want to push here, and I want to make sure I hit my stickies because they're damage boosted, right? Just really kind of low percentage. We could have really nuked someone with our tank there. And again, like we're kind of just really loosey-goosey with how we're peeking these things. I think because we tunnel onto the Echo, but like... Oh. Right, look how easy of a shot you are for the Ana there. Right. We could be going into the welcome to orbit and then split a bit, like this. Something like this. Over the top and draw it down. We could have gone over here, use a statue. Right, and we can shoot more or less the same things. Just kind of safer from people who can shoot us. I think maybe your Malgo is looking to ult there with the orbit. And here, like, I actually don't have a problem with going main here, because you see your Malga, he's going to go up there to try and get entry. So putting damage here gives them a different line of sight. Right? And I'm not sure if it's intentional or not. Where is the Malga? Over there. Never mind. when we're set up for a play like this, we want to be looking at the Mauga and either go just before or just after he's about to push onto the payload. Probably just before in this case, since he's coming from an unpredictable angle, and he's going to be the one to touch, so we need to make space for him by pulling people's attention main. Right? I don't mind this ult. I like that you go for the supports. What could be nice? We could have probably hit a javelin on the Ana. Very expensive fight though. Like, I expect you to lose this next one. And when you're like kind of disadvantaged like this, I want to see you set up a little more aggressively. Like either we come here and try to poke and just make it hard for them to cross, and we can poke here and we can do something like draw down, and we need to be thinking of trying to catch their Ana lagging behind their team. That's probably like our best target. And we can wait and hear for shooting, and then we know she's not looking. Right. But again, like, I want you looking. I wish we'd been like here, because we have flight and we can get around. Or like I pointed out, like here. The tracer was set up here because she got away. So maybe in that specific situation, that's bad advice, but just in general, I want you. Here is, it's like kind of hard to escape from here. Probably that side's the best. But I want you on a different angle. Maybe a little less risky because they have a tracer, you can hunt you down. But right, like now look at this, right? Easy kill. But can you imagine if you'd done that like around now? It would have been like set up here and hadn't given away her position. Because in these like short, like like 3rd and 1 situations, let's call it. This is kind of 4th and 1 because they have so much time. It's the people off of the point that are really going to kill you. Like an Ana who can just sit here while everyone's on payload and just kind of free fire and hit a good nade and stuff. But if you've been here, like, it's such an easy kill. Right? The kind of neutral, like, poke into them from your main and then take a late flank, that can work if it's like a choke. Like this next one. But on this part of the map, it's so open. And there's so many good flank opportunities that you really want to take advantage of that. To provide pressure, again, like in a place where the rest of your team can't pressure, but at a time when your team is pressuring. I think that's a really good example of what I'm looking for you to do that you're not doing. And that was a good beam, right? Your first beam, not so good. But yeah. And again, really looking for that Ana. Here, like, also passive. Can we find a way to be up here? Or we're echo long sight lines, right? And we're gonna poke. Can we poke like around this corner? And like, it's not always gonna be the case that you hard flank, especially if this tracer starts trying to clear you. But the thing is, like, of the matchups in this game right now, like Ana is your priority target for sure. Clearing her, or not clearing her, but making her do anything other than just like look at the tank. Even now, while we're poking. Maybe we poke the tank a little to get her to hard scope, but then we're looking to hit her stickies onto the Ana. Especially when she's like hard scoped and not moving that much. I'm just gonna check the time. I think I'm going on a long time. Yeah. Right. Bad beam usage again. So anyway, I'm gonna just sound like a broken record because I'm just gonna keep talking about that. I guess ask me about specific situations. Maybe we can skip to your attack. Overtime attack. Oh, let me turn up the speed here. Something like that is fine. Right. We looked at this in fast motion, but just to bring the point home. Like, again, even if we're doing something like as little as being over here, poking this sightline, it's better, especially because Sig, he has to shield in a direction so we can get around it. Sig really doesn't like to be surrounded, right? Or we go up here, like, right? Or if we're trying to assassinate someone, coming around the back for the short sightline. Yeah. Now I get this gain situation, you probably don't want to deep flank. But we're really not using a lot of our kit in terms of like, you could really burst someone down if you catch them unaware. And here, even as simple, it doesn't have to be a hard flank, but even as simple as over here. Yeah. Over here, try to get them to back off. Move up, maybe come from up here. Well, not in the open, but we can use this high ground as cover, right? Poke, maybe we try to get here. Right, there's kind of a try to get over here to our good, like, kind of like high building that we can use as cover and fly up here and poke. And try to catch these people it's just standing still on a payload, right? But from here, like, we're just playing into their window, yeah? So let's, like, go to attack here. Like, actually, that's a much better poke. The problem is it's too early. Also, the problem is your tank is an asshole. But even this angle, fine. We have a plan to threaten the Ana, and Ana's off under there, from a place where you have cover from the Ana, right? And ideally, we get her to back off, and we can land, like, over here. And try to get control of this high ground. We're trying to control lane, contest an angle, make space. Right? Let's fast forward a little. He kills the Sombra. We can't do that much other than set up. Right? If we see this happen, if there's nothing else to do, right? If peeking and poking is like high risk, we want to take some sort of space in a lane. Yeah? It's the most valuable thing we can do. So being set up like here, let's say, because the soldier's over there, right? Or going, we poke the Ana this way, so she's expecting us to be there. We could also just go under, wait a sec, try to catch her scoped, right? And I like that you check on them. And so, like, even that ambush, That's all right. The problem is the angle you do it at, right? The sig sees you there. Yeah, he rocks you. So like, imagine instead, if we go back a little. Oh god, I have the fast forward really fast. This is like the other kind of thing. It's not quite right. Imagine instead we go for this. Oh god. We go for this, like, we fly a bit, kind of low, and then come up. Yeah. Right? She sees you coming. She's going to back off this way. We come this way. It's a harder rock, and we can maybe dodge it. We are spamming stickies into where she wants to drop, or back off to. Easier shot. And if things go south, we back off this way. Although we have to be worried about Sombra respawning. Though my sense of time's a little off, because I think we've been watching in fast motion a bit. So kind of a pathing thing. And also just, well, I guess we did hear her shoot. Or, to play it even more crazy, like coming over here because we hear her shooting, and we go up around and get this angle from this way. Right? She doesn't hear you till you're sticky. Fly up, and then glide is quieter. We could glide down, and that gives us more time to get her glide back, or like power boost, and then kill her, right? Especially because we know these guys are. Where were they when you went? Like, these guys are still rotating, right? Actually, that's probably the main problem here. We're here. We see them. We see her. Right? We go. There's nothing else happening on point, right? We're dead. And now they come. So yeah, I don't know. It's better that too early, too late thing. Supplemental pressure. Maybe that's the best name for it. Lose our tank. Here, again, if you're going to boost, let's get some information. We could maybe just spam this on it from here and hit stickies. Use this thing as cover. Yeah, we can get that sideline. Now we have Wrecking Ball, so we need to think about where is he going to slam? Where is he coming in from, so where is he going to slam? And can we sticky whoever gets it? That's a good example of a beam where it's like, just not quite right. She can escape from that. If you break her out of stealth, absolutely beam her. But if she has her translocate, like maybe you get lucky, maybe not. That's a great. We have our sticky. He just used his thing. We gotta shoot him a bit more and get in a half. But here we're just kind of. We don't really want to be fighting the tank here. We want to be up. We're more mobile than Sigma. We want to be finding this person, right? Or even we just want to be up here because he's dropped, right? He can't get out to high ground. We want to be here trying to sticky and shoot the ball slam. and you look for them, it's just like really late. It's not like the first thing you're looking for. You clear high ground, that's not bad. And there is just a little error of like, you're really close to ult. We had someone touching, we didn't need to go in there. We needed to be like, this is a good place to be. Let me force the Sigma back. Try to get my ult and then ult in. We lost our tank, so maybe you copy the tank. Maybe you copy the Lucio and keep booping him back because you have a fast wrecking ball, so maybe you could get back. But I hope that you see what I mean of like, we're just like, it's not that you don't know what to do, but you're like, you're kind of like indecisive and late to do the thing you need to be doing. Or like every time you do it, you're not set up for it. You have to travel from main to the angle you're supposed to be on, then get your cooldowns back and actually do something. So a lot of the time we're not in sync with our team and we're not set up for when the fight is actually going to start. So I hope that wasn't too all over the place. Let me know if you have questions. And yeah, thanks for sending the replay.